This is for the video Haley 2024, the movement. What's that all about? It's all about competitive governance. It's a set of reforms that's all grouped together, dealing with competitive governance, trying to unify a lot of good theories about what government should be doing. I've done a couple very short videos. This is going to be probably 7 to 8 minutes dealing with all the different reforms I'm dealing with. Then I'll do all the reforms, give about 7 or 8 minutes on those. I did about a 1 minute and about a 2 to 3 minute ones on each one of the reforms. So let's go through it. So hopefully this shorter video got you to look at some of this longer videos. So I want to restructure the foundations of government to a lot more liberty, free enterprise, greater control by citizens. I don't want government to have so much control over our lives. I want each individual citizen to have control. So they select what government they want to go with, and everybody is governed only by the government that is governing them. Obviously, there has to be cooperation, and there has to be a structure for this. So, what is competitive governance? We'll go through it. I'm going to go have a video on all of these. You have a 1 minute video, about a 2.5 minute video, and then I'm going to give you about a 7 minute video on all this. Plus, everything's at Haley2024.org, where you can read up and have significant long videos on every aspect of every one of these. So, one of the big reforms is competitive school boards. We get rid of the monopolized public school system, and we go to a competitive school boards. The public school system is unconstitutional. It is blatantly unconstitutional. I go through a lot of case law. I wish the courts would agree with this, but they have not so far. So it is what it is. But I want to change it. Competitive school boards would make it very constitutional. Plus, we have to change the Constitution to make this happen to a large degree. But a competitive school board could do it within the current Constitution. They would just have to, they would have to change some stuff, for sure. The state constitution has the public school system in it, but that is federally unconstitutional and probably state unconstitutional. It conflicts with each other, with a lot of rights that we have. I want to get rid of welfare altogether, the government welfare in the tax code, and all the different welfares, from the food stamps to the aid-dependent children, to all the tax credits, to everything that we have going on, from welfare payments to food, all of it. Medicaid, I want to change it all. I wanted to go to all that money. While it's doing some good, there's a lot of things that's doing harmful. I want to go to a competitive charity system where it's funded, it's structured, and it gives a lot of people a lot of choices. And when people have to give over their money, they know they're going to give money over to a charity that they agree with. Right now, a lot of people don't want to give the money over to welfare because they know how much damage it's doing. Okay, competitive representative agencies, that's going from electing to selecting your representative agency. And then your representative agency sending up legislators to represent you. And then your representative agencies can also represent you in the top vote for the elected leadership. Now, if we go with competitive governance, which a big part of this is, then your competitive governance will be that representation for you, or they send up that representation. There's a lot to it. I'll go through that in every one of the reforms, and everything's very well laid out on my website. Competitive Social Security said instead of one system, and that includes Medicare, by the way, instead of one system, one monopoly system, everybody gets to pick their retirement system. It has to be done. You have to pick one, and they have to accomplish a low level of poverty in people's elderly years. They have to achieve results. So the charity system or the welfare system doesn't have to pick up all that irresponsible behavior by people not saving up for their retirement. Competitive police, obviously you need a lot of structure, you need some oversight, you need an authorization board, you need make sure they are doing civil liberties properly, proper police procedures. So we don't get rid of any of that. Actually, we enhance a lot of the good and limit some of the bad. We have better oversight. We have the best police we've ever had in world history, but I think we can do better because free enterprise does do better. Competitive military, again, elected commander-in-chief. So it's a way of getting military capabilities. There's a lot of safeguards around that. Again, authorization and everything. Competitive currencies. I want to do currencies where we have about 600 different currencies, about 12 per state, and then have a unified one unified standard currency for paper and coin, which is the average of all the currencies, and all the currencies have to constantly sync their unit value of their currency, which is digital, so they can adjust it on a constant basis, a daily basis, to the average. The competitive healthcare system, we have way too many conservatives and liberals fighting over what the healthcare system should be. The problem is it's monopolized. And one set of regulations. That includes insurance regulations and education regulations and licensing and boards and all that stuff. It's too much monopoly there. I want to have a competitive healthcare system. So every healthcare provider and every patient, every citizen selects who they want to be governed with, what system they want to be in. And the better systems are going to allow people to go across different systems. But allow people to have, whether you want a one-payer system or a free enterprise system. Now, nobody has a right to go get general money from the general government budget. They have to only tax their members that select their system. Competitive prisons. I want more experimentation with prisons to get better results. Better results is lower recidivism rates and stuff like that. Keep people behind bars longer if need be, but not at a high cost and not as a punishing, there definitely needs to be punishment, but they're not as a punishing into itself, but to get people who are incarcerated to be better and have better results long term. Competitive roads, obviously free enterprise does better. It can give you a better price at a better quality. Pockets of freedom is an immigration and foreign policy thing where we legitimately acquire plots of land around the world, about maybe 1,000 square miles, which is not that big a piece of land, but then the U.S. military would guard that area, have first world government rule of law in there, competitive charities, competitive governance, and a lot of things that we were doing here put in there, but they have a rule of law, and then strong banishment rights, so you don't have subversive actors in there. And it gets, so when somebody wants to do amnesty, they can go to one of these places, and it's a place of freedom. Anyway, keep on going. Competitive rating system. The competitive rating system is going to be within every one of these competitive governance systems. So you can get high quality information from the competitive part is multiple rating agencies. You become a member of the one that you like, and that gives that rating agency a little bit more percentage power. A little bit more money, a little bit more percentage power, a little bit more clout. So you can change, you pick the one that you like the best, and that's rating the best, that's going to do the things that you want it to be done. Competitive family law, obviously, there's family law out there, laws dealing with divorce and alimony and child care and the like. So what do we do with that? I want to stop the constant bickering between Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and liberals. Let everybody have their family law. I have about a dozen different family laws. Now there will be some standards that have to be met, so we don't have major externalities out there. But it'd be take like a 70% vote to do a monopoly regulations or a limitations on competitive governance in there. I want to separate government power into 30 sectors. You saw a lot of sectors there, from the police to the military to family law and all the different ones, insurance and prisons. All those are different sectors. So I want all 30. Now I probably only mentioned maybe half of the sectors within this. The charity, like 3 or 4 sectors and the like. Anyway, all this is going to need to be done with the new Constitution. The U.S. Constitution is great. It has advanced society and well-beings and liberty and freedom and all that really good stuff. And it has. I think we can do better. Haleynomics is just my teaching on economics, and it led me to come up with a lot of these ideas. 70% democracy, For monopolized government, you need 70% of the representatives. I like to say representatives of 70% of the people. I want to change how we are represented with that competitive representative agency. So I like to say um, representatives of 70% of the people is the best way of saying it. And all this is from government to societal oversight. So that's highly important. Everything's Haley2024.org. That's the website. You can see everything there, and you can see a lot of stuff on my social media sites as well. Until the next video.